Hey there, and welcome back to Phasmophobia, where I'm continuing my spoiler-free guide so that you can learn how to play the game without having to learn everything about the game, because I know that there's a million resources out there for you. If you want to learn every little mechanic and figure out how to avoid ghosts and how to not die so much, you can definitely go do that. But what this is for is to try to help you get your feet running and give you a little bit of direction. That's about it. Now, I know a lot of you have enjoyed the previous video, my beginner's guide to it, and I thought we would go a little bit further without getting too deep because, again, I'm trying not to spoil anything on you. And so what this is going to be about is giving a little bit of instruction on different pieces of equipment. Now, I did make an item shop video, and then right after that, they changed it and completely overhauled the item shop. So I don't want to talk about it too much because I also feel like they're going to do a little bit more. But why don't we start there? If you're anywhere in the lobby and you hit spacebar, you'll be brought over here. So if you're ever playing a multiplayer, you don't have to run all the way over and hit that. So once you're on the screen, you can hit this arrow and go over to the shop. I would strongly suggest setting up a loadout. Now, if you ever have to get an upgrade and you want to unlock that, you're going to have to come over here and click on these, and it will get you the next level on there. But then come down to your quick loadout and just select how many and what tier. Since I play solo, most of the time I only get like 1 or 2 things because I don't need more than that. The only exceptions really being the incense, the sanity medication, and the salt, just because you can go through those really quickly. But like, I don't really need a lot of photo cameras and parabolic microphones. To be honest, the only reason I put in 2 sometimes on those is I've been known to throw them down and then lose them. And then I gotta go out to the van and grab another one. So you don't really need a whole lot of these. You only really need 1 UV light. But if you're like me and you're sometimes forgetful and you drop stuff, you might want to have 2 of them. But as you can see, we've got at least 1 of everything of at least some tiers. I prestiged a while ago, so I'm not max level anymore. And what we're going to do is put this on professional, because now we have done a guide on being intermediate. Now I want to bump you up. We're going to elevate you to professional. It's been a couple months since I put out that last guide, so I figure we could just go into professional mode and I can give you a little bit of hints on how to go from there. So let's just go back to good old Tanglewood and we'll get things started. So if you know from the previous video, the primary things we're going to do is turn on the breaker, look for places to hide, find the ghost with items that are particularly good at finding the ghost, and then go back out to the van and grab all the other evidence, collecting stuff, and put it in there. In this video, we're not only going to reinforce that strategy, but we're also going to look at optional objectives and go over how to use the other equipment. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and while I think there's a lot of fun emergent gameplay that comes out of people misusing items, I think for the people that get very frustrated with that, that might be why you're looking for videos right now. So, with that in mind, why don't we do our start? I'm going to take an EMF reader, because that's something I can use to find the ghost on the go. I'm going to grab a flashlight, a thermometer, and the first thing we're going to do is make our way directly to that breaker. Oh, that's a hiding spot, so I'm going to leave that door open. Now there's a couple of things we can go over. If there's anything that you want me to give guides on, I would be more than happy to. I just kind of... Oh, I just heard something get moved somewhere. We got this hiding spot here in the basement again, so I'm going to leave this light on. So if I need to run here in the dark, I can find it. If you've ever played I'm on observation duty, that's how I feel like the beginning of Phasmophobia runs are. You're just kind of walking around looking for things that are out of place. Now, I thought I heard a thump up here. Oh, I think that came from in here. Thought I heard something. Oh, look at the shoe. Shoe's been tossed. Alright, so it is probably a master bedroom ghost. I'm going to leave the thermometer here. And as an additional step, I'm going to toss my flashlight down. That way I have an extra hand free. And I can bring 3 things in this time. So what do I want to do now? I want to get a camera in there with a dots and a book. Why these ones? Well, I want to find orbs first because that's a really easy evidence and it doesn't take a lot of time to just confirm that. So we could just walk into the room, look around. This room in particular, you need to check the closets and the bathroom. It is all considered one big room. So the orbs could be anywhere in here. I'm not seeing orbs, so I'm just gonna put this camera in a place that kind of oversees the whole room like this. And now I'm gonna place my dots in a sort of central spot, and I'm gonna put my book right next to it. Now, why would I put my book right next to it? Well, if the ghost ever interacts with the book, and it has ghostwriting, of course, it's gonna write in it. But if it doesn't, it'll... Thanks for the jump scare. in focus mode trying to explain things. I wasn't ready for a red light event with the motherfucker right in my face. But if it interacts with the book and it doesn't have ghostwriting, it'll throw it. So if I come back and I see the book thrown, then I know we're not dealing with a ghostwriting. Wow. Before I go back in, I know I personally have some problems with the spirit box. Whenever you're using it, you'll notice the little X appear whenever you get a phrase recognized by the game, and then the little ghost icon lights up whenever a ghost responds. So if you come into the house and go, "Where are you?" Hold on. "Where are you?" and you get that little X, that means it registered. But if you're using this a lot and you keep on asking questions like, "Where are you? How old are you? Are you friendly?" things that should be recognized and you're not seeing it, there could be a couple of things going on. I kind of touched over this in my first video, but I wanted to say, if you're using these voice recognition modes and it's not popping up, a little bug in the system is that you need to make sure that the audio device that you're using for your microphone is also set to your default audio device. So I'm going to go to screen cap mode and come down here to my microphone. If I go to sounds and I go to recording, see how I have my my Yeti set as default device? When I was streaming just the other day, I had recently done a Windows update, and for some reason it always sets my default device to something else. And I wasn't getting a reading, and I knew instantly I needed to leave the house, come out here, and set my Yeti back as my default device, and it started working again. This isn't the only way that this happens, but this is one that happens often enough that hopefully that resolves it for you. Otherwise, you can always try changing this, applying it, and then changing it back. Sometimes that works. For some reason, I never see the current microphone input, even when I'm holding the push to talk. So I'm not sure if this broke at some point, but I haven't seen it work in months. So don't rely on that. And with that, why don't I go back to game capture, and we're gonna come in here. All right, he has turned on some water. Where are you? Are you here? How old are you? Where are you? Are you here? See, I'm not getting the X anymore. That's fantastic. I love that. Right as I tell it, I'm gonna go back to Windows then. Where are you? Oh, look at that, it's super freezing. I don't know what I've done. I'm gonna do something risky and just do this while I'm standing in the room. Go back to sounds, recording. Oh, I'm dead. Bye-bye. I should have left the house. Oh, it was a demon. How wonderful. What a perfect ghost to have. So let's just go back in there again. We'll do a fresh restart. That's gonna happen. Hey, you know what? I'll leave that in as part of the guide because Phasmo is rude sometimes. You will get killed. You can play this game for hundreds of hours and still get into situations where you're just dead. I did kind of bring it on myself. I said that I should leave the house, but I did something risky and just stood there with my menu open. Hello? And you're on. Alright. There's a hiding spot. I'm gonna leave the garage light on. Ah, I think I just heard something move in this direction. If you have your sound cranked all the way up, you should be able to hear stuff. Let's see, is there anything out of place here? It doesn't look like it. We've got our EMF. Oh! My EMF 5 went off, so we should hit that before I forget about it. What was thrown, though? Oh, that's not a hiding spot. Alright, we're gonna... Oh, I brought my camera. Habits are hard to break. I can see my breath in here. I'm going to assume what was thrown was something in this cabinet. Sometimes you'll get an EMF in this room, and it can be hard to know what it is. Oftentimes, it's just something in that cabinet. So I'm going to leave my EMF here. Again, I'm going to drop my light. Turn this light on. And let's go get our other in-place stuff. Alright, I didn't see orbs in there, so I'm just going to drop this here. We're going to do the same setup where I put the dots down. And I put the book right next to it. That way, if I come back and the book's been thrown, we know that it doesn't have ghost writing. Where are you? Are you here? By the way, if you're using push to talk, you see that little microphone right next to FM? You'll know that your push to talk is on if that's showing. Alright, we are once again having audio issues. I'm loving this. Mama is getting a little upsetty spaghetti right now at me making a guide on these things. Alright. And now I will set you back. Where are you? Are you here? Ah, there we go. See, switching it back and forth. Are you friendly? Alright, you don't have to be holding the spirit box to ask questions. I can throw this down, pull out something else, and still ask, where are you? Are you here? How old are you? Oh, you're definitely in here. Where are you? How old are you? Ah, I touched the door. Let's see if you got fingies. Oh, and you're writing in the book. Oh, look at that. Take some pictures. Alright, we got everything. We got ultraviolet and ghost writing. It's smiling. Now, this is where we would stop when we were doing the beginner's guide, but in this one, I want to go over a little bit on the optional objectives. So, capturing a photo of the ghost, using incense, and the parabolic microphone. Why don't we do the parabolic microphone first? And what we'll also do is do some crucifixes. So, the crucifix can also be an optional objective. It says, prevent a hunt with a crucifix. A lot of people think that the crucifixes are meant to stop ghosts from killing you if they start walking towards you, but really, the crucifix is only useful in preventing a hunt in its little AoE. If you want to see the size of it, what you do is do the placement like this, and you can see the ring out in front of you. See it out there? So if I want to cover this whole bathroom and part of that bedroom, I can put this crucifix here. I'm going to turn this off. And then I also want to stop it from like appearing behind me and getting me trapped in these rooms. So I'm going to put another crucifix here. And you can see this protects me all the way out into the living room. So I've got a couple of protective crucifixes. And now what we're going to do is turn the parabolic microphone on and just do a little listen. You'll know you got the objective because it'll check off in here, but you'll hear little whispers. There's one exception to this, but we won't worry about that. For the most part, you just hear little whispers come through, kind of thing. There you go. There's our whispers. We got our check mark. So we're good to go on that. So we'll have one objective done. And yes, if you go to your overview section here on the tab, you can see the optional objectives. You don't have to walk all the way out to the van just to take a look at those. You can see them in your book. Now we need to cleanse the area near the ghost with the incense and capture a photo of the ghost. So this is nice. We're just going to grab, we have the matches in our hand. I have the smudge stick, so I'm just going to hit this and walk into the room. Check my overview. And bada bing, bada boom, we've gotten that. Now the last objective here is going to be getting a photo of the ghost. And that, I think, is going to be a tall order for a video like this. Mostly what you're going to be doing, especially at this level of play, is waiting for an event to happen and taking a picture of the ghost. Thank you so much, Myling, for doing that. Now here's something to know. When it's doing these events, you can take a picture from here and be fine, but if you get too close, you'll interrupt the event. You got to be a little bit farther back from them. If you get too close, the event ends and you won't be able to get your picture. At this point, I think we've done pretty much everything we need to for our objectives. Why don't we just talk about the other things on here? We got sound sensors and salt and sanity potions. So right now, we are right at 50%. I'm going to take the sanity potion. It is the tier 1, which means it takes the longest to restore our sanity. But you'll notice over about a 10-second period, I believe, maybe even longer, we're going to get some of our sanity back. We're now up to 60. We're a little bit higher. This thing always fluxes a little plus or minus. It never gives you the exact amount, so it could be like +3, -3, something like that. And now we've gone from 50% up to 75%, which is a pretty comfortable amount. So I'm going to go back in there and show you the sound sensor. The sound sensor is pretty straightforward. It uses the same place button. You'll see that it covers a spot, and if the ghost walks through it, it'll give a little beep and flash. Now, with this one, it also works with players, so players will set it off. You have to be careful when playing in a group of people not to think that a ghost has set off a motion detector. But there's a couple things you could do to really up a couple of your equipments using the motion sensor. Say, for example, the salt. If I place the salt down here and place the motion detector there, anytime I hear the motion detector beep go off, that means I should have had something step in the salt. And you can use that in your adventures. So if you're somebody, say you're low on sanity or you are particularly spooked, you might want to just put that down, come out here, note that the motion sensor has gone off, and you can see it here on the map, listen for that little beep, and then go, oh, it's time to go back in and check. But there you go. We knew as soon as that motion sensor went off that it stepped in that, and it seems to be walking in and out here pretty well. Let's talk about other things. We have the head cams. Personally, I don't use them a whole lot because I play solo, so having this little head cam on doesn't do a whole lot for me. But if you want to activate it, the default button for it is to hold down your flashlight button. So T is my flashlight button. If I tap it, nothing happens, but if I hold it down, it beeps on and off. I can beep it on. Then we come over here. If you've never used the camera before, you switch between different cameras with the mouse, and you switch between night vision and regular vision with the keyboard. But now that I have this on, you can see, whoa, into infinity! We've got our head cam on, and somebody else can use this while you're inside to take a look at things. Candles. We can get the blow a firelight out that we would have gotten on that last one. All you need to do is have a lighter source in your inventory, hold the candle, and then right click. And it will light the candle, and then you can use F or whatever your placement key is to place it down. If, for any example, it ever falls over, it automatically puts it out. You can also light the match and then use F on any light source. There's also candles that you'll find throughout the properties that let you light them as well. But I think we've done everything, right? Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so let's head on out of here. And look at that. We got ourselves a Myling. We got a decent chunk of change because now we're playing on professional. We found the bone. I also did some dailies, which I guess I should point that out. If you are still trying to grind up some money, doing your daily tasks is a nice little boost of money. They won't be multiplied, but it is still some amount of money. A really good form of cash inflow is completing the challenge mode every week. Go into your difficulty, go to the right past Nightmare and Insanity, and you can go to challenge mode. There's going to be different challenges. They each have a name. It's going to give you a little bit of information about what it is and then tells you where you need to do it. For the challenge modes, the only thing you need to do in order to win is to get the ghost right. If you get the ghost right and die, doesn't matter, you still won. I'm gonna hit apply on this, and you'll see that I don't have any of my items over here. The challenge modes are risk-free. You aren't taking in any of your own equipment, but you still get rewarded for completing the challenge mode. And we're just gonna take a look at what the weekly challenge is. Now, any of the modifiers could apply here. They could have only one piece of evidence. They could have no evidence. It looks like we don't have dots. I'm gonna take you and you. Oh, I don't have a sprint. I'm hitting sprint right now and I don't got no sprint. We got our old ass EMF. Grab the key. Alright, we're gonna try to get this photo. Wonderful. Where are you?
I was taken away.
Oh, you were taken away. Crazy. I find it helps to, drop the tripod down because you can hold the viewfinder up to your face more. I turn off my flashlight. And then look around. Turn off the light. Take a look. Any Orbeez? Oh, there's one. There's a little Orbie next to the window. How much for that Orbie in the window? So we got Spirit Box, and we got orbs. Let's put down a safety crucifix so our face doesn't get bitten off. Into the doghouse. I'm gonna cover this hallway like this. I didn't think it was funny. Double check it hasn't written in there. Wow. Alright, I'm just gonna step outside real fast. Let's take a little safety smudge with us. Let's get our little ice cream cone. I'm worried because we have no sprint and there's no hiding spots. The entire map is bereft of hiding. It's still very cold in here, but not a freezing temp. Oh, look, never mind. We got the ghost writing. You can see it. Bada bing, bada boom. My hunch was right. And there we go. We got a mare. And if you come back out, if you ever have to question, you know, if you're worried that because you died you didn't get it, you can always come back and double check that you've made progress on the challenge here. Again, as long as you write down the correct ghost type, that's all that matters. You'll get it, don't worry. But with that, hopefully you've learned a little thing or two, and hopefully not a little too much to have spoiled the game for you. If you're enjoying this series, let me know. I can try to go more in depth on things, but I feel like if I go too much more beyond this, then we're going to get into spoiler territory. So if there's anything you want me to discuss in a future video, let me know in the comments down below. Of course, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. And until next time, remember to take care of yourself and take care of those around you. Bye-bye.